In this new world video, I quickly want to put a Bruiser build together for you that you can farm. By the end of this video, you should have a pretty decent idea for gear that you need to farm. For a Bruiser, all of these items are named jobs and will be able to be upgradable. I'll go over some great axes, warhammers, armor pieces and jewelry as well. And maybe I'll take a look at some artifacts that you might be able to use as well. This is for a medium Bruiser. So the first thing here is a great axe, which is super good. This one comes with a refreshing move, enchanted, and for the last perk you can choose what you want. Taunting strikes, probably the first priority here, and then maybe attunement or enfeebling maelstrom, but you can choose what you like. This one is quite easy to farm. You can farm it in ebon scale reeds. Sure, you will probably need a group, but all the bosses, well, most of the bosses will drop it here, and you should be good to go if you've got a decent build going. Probably you wouldn't, but just look for a group that's farming. I know at the very top of ebon scale reeds there spawns free bosses. People are probably farming there, so take a look here what you can farm these bosses. So just make sure you can do it. But there's a lot of drops that these bosses also drop, so you might get lucky with a few things here and there. But great axe, pretty good, so make sure you go farm it. If you don't want to farm bosses in the open world, you can always do the forge, which is pretty good if you farm it Imperium Forge, which this great axe is pretty good. It already has taunting strikes, keenly jagged, and then you can choose your last perk, probably refreshing a move or something like that in those lines. But pretty good. There isn't any other great axes that I saw. If I missed something, maybe leave it in the comments so that everybody can see. But you can farm this from the forge, pretty good as well. Probably my go-to for this one. Let's move on to warhammers. For warhammers, this one is Will of Power, taunting strikes, refreshing move, and then you probably want to go sundering shockwave on this. Pretty decent warhammer. Maybe you can change out the refreshing move for something else, but it's fixed, so you will just have to go with it. For this, you're going to have to farm this in Tempest Heart, just a regular dungeon. Just run it over and over again until you get this name drop. Definitely worth go farming. Maybe yeah, we already have taunting strikes on it. Moving on to a secondary warhammer that you probably might like. This one also comes with taunting strikes, shirking nature, wood grains warhammer, and the last one obviously sundering shockwave, probably there so that you can get that rend, I believe, or weaken, not quite sure anymore. I haven't played Bruiser in a minute, but I do know the perks. You can get this from Eden Grove and so forth. Just a lot of mobs that you can farm from Eden Grove, so make sure you go farm some bosses for those. Not too complicated. Some of them are quite strong though, but maybe bring a group. But yeah, if you want just a good one that you can go farm, maybe this one. I think the previous one is a bit easier to get. Just join up on a dungeon and then super easy. Moving on to armor. Armor is probably the most sketch thing in this build, since we want health, shirking heals, and either grid ward or shirking fort for our armor, but we cannot farm those in the open world, so I put together some makeshift builds to last you. It's not terrible, but you can get better. So for this armor is the Sunlord set. This will drop from the Ennead dungeon, I believe, if we salvage mutation. I think this is the Ennead dungeon, which is kind of difficult to do. Plus this is mutation free, so this is not a good example for a fresh level 65, but I am going to include it just in case you're a badass. So let's take a look. Sunlord's wings. All of these roll with the same perks, I believe. It comes with grid wards, refreshing, and then you're probably going to go health or shirking heals on this, just to make it a pretty good set, pretty decent. You'll be viable in this, but probably not the best set to farm. I do have other pieces. Let's go to the next one here. Way easier to farm. Keratin Helm, I believe. Grid ward, since you're going to gain grid with your abilities, well, auto attacks and abilities. So grid ward, refreshing, either go health or shirking heals. You can farm a full heavy set, but you're probably going to use one or two pieces of this. if we go down, you can farm this in Brimstone Sands. So you're going to have to farm a couple of bosses, maybe find a boss that's super easy to do and farm him over and over again to get this complete set. You will be able to upgrade it. If this isn't your cup of tea, this is probably the easiest one to do. Then you can also get like super good boots, probably the only boots that's based in slot mostly, which it comes with Shaking Fort, health, and then you can choose the last perk, which in my personal opinion, I would go Shaking Heals. And where can you farm this? Well, you can farm this in regular old Lazarus, which is super nice. Lazarus is in Reekwater if you don't know, so you can go farm it there. Probably the easiest best set to get if you have, well, if you want heavy boots. Let's move on to a secondary set here, also pretty good. Grid ward / conditioning, since you might be in clumps facing a lot of slash damage. So this set is super good. Probably the one I'll go for personally. But where can you get this? Well, you can also get it in Brimstone Sands, and you can farm it quite a bit. Let me just quickly take a look if this is a dungeon set. Okay, this isn't a dungeon set, so you should be able to farm this in Brimstone Sands. So many enemies that will drop it, but hopefully you have got some luck here on, and named items will drop a little bit more often. What will I go here? Well, I'll probably go health, just because we already get that / conditioning and grid ward, so I'll probably go health here, but you can choose, maybe you like Shaking Heals or something else. But probably the set I'll go for, well, just a couple of pieces. I'm not going to go heavy, I'll probably go medium, but this is probably the best that I can do for you, other than like just mixing other sets that you farm. But yeah, probably the best I can do for you for armor. For the ring, this is the best ring. This is the ring that I personally will farm. This is the Privateer's Heirloom. This one comes with hearty / damage and it's quite easy to get. For the last perk, maybe I will go with leeching here, or maybe you can choose something else that you think is more fitting for you. But where does this drop? Well, this drops in barnacles and black powder, just the regular version, I believe. If we salvage, it's barnacles and black powder. You can see it comes from that dungeon, so pretty decent. Probably a couple of runs and you might have base in slot ring here for yourself. Plus it rolls strength, super good. If you maybe want another ring that you can't be bothered farming barnacles and black powder for some reason, then the Ace of Crystal ring, you will have to run mutations 2 to get this, but it will come with hearty, leeching, and then you can just force your damage type, which might be / damage or whatever you like. So you can see it always drops from mutation 2 no matter what the mutation is. This is like a general mutation drop, super good. I already picked this up just yesterday, so not too difficult to get if you got a group going, or even with randoms if you're super good. So let's go on to the next one. This is another set that I'm going to include just for armor, since maybe you cannot find the light pieces or the medium pieces that you want to fill out your build with. This is also the Ace of Crystal Helm. Well, the complete set, you get the set in medium, you get it in light, and you get it in heavy, which we have here, just as an example. So this will come with Enchanted Ward, Refreshing, and then you can choose your last perk, maybe health, maybe Shaking Fort, maybe Shaking Heals. I'll probably go with Shaking Heals, but you can choose. If you need a set to fill out your rest of your pieces, then you're going to have to run a couple of mutations. Just like you're going to farm the ring and the other things, you might run a couple of these and pick some of these pieces up. Keep them, they're pretty good. They're not best in slot, but they will be viable for you. So you can put a makeshift build together for yourself so that you have something decent for OPR or Arena. So here we go. If we're going to go on to the amulets here, Passage of Time. This one will come with stamina recovery, super good, refreshing, pretty nice, but we wish it was health. What will we go with the last perk? Maybe health, just because we're going to need it. There is other amulets that's way better. I'll go over it in a minute. I just wanted to include this since this was a pretty decent one that can drop. Well, where does it drop? Chardes. Chardes is in a dungeon. I believe it's in Lazarus, right? Yeah, it's Lazarus. So not too difficult to get. Lazarus is one of the easiest dungeons to do. So definitely take a look at this one if you want an easy one. Moving on to an earring. This is life earring. Not too difficult to get, I guess. Regenerating healthy toast. And you want something here that you maybe like. I have no idea what I would take. There's so many new perks. But where does this drop? Well, this drops from a zone, Eden Grove. So you can farm this over and over again. Probably farm Banes so that you can get your trophy materials. And this earring. Banes, they did nerf a little bit since you can solo it now. So not too difficult. So definitely take a look at this earring. Best in slot potentially if you roll a good perk on this one. There's also another amulet I want to go over, which is a little bit better than the previous one. Soul Shroud amulet. It comes with health / conditioning. And then you probably want to roll stamina recovery, which will make it best in slot. Where can you farm this? Well, probably Midgard. Yeah, Shattered Mountain, which is going to be a little bit difficult. Each day people will run Shattered Mountain. So just join in on those runs. Eventually you will get this. I actually got this yesterday as well, just from running Shattered Mountain. Not too difficult. Put on your luck set or your trophies and this should drop for you eventually. But pretty good. This is probably my best pick for this build at the moment. I'm probably going to upgrade mine, to be honest. So definitely get this one from Shattered Mountain. Moving on to another amulet. I'm giving you so many options that you can choose from. So this one is the Tangled Vine amulet. Health, Frost protection again. And then you probably want to go Stam recovery here. And where can this drop? Well, Elysium Wilds. All those bosses that you're going to be farming for artifacts and things will probably drop you this one. So this is probably the easiest one to get if you're going to farm artifacts. So make sure you keep this one in mind. All the bosses is listed below. This website will be linked at the bottom of the description. So make sure you check out this website as well. But probably a good one to have as well. Moving on to some artifacts. I wanted to include some of them just so that you can maybe get my thoughts on them. Tumbler feet wraps, pretty good since it gives you so much. For a medium, you get 15 empower, 25 fortify. And on top of all of that, you get freaking shirking heals. Well, it's blessed shirking, but super good. The last perk here, you can choose what you want. I'll probably go shirking heals, but you can go shirking fortify or health, depending on what you like. So super good. If you're not into the shoes and you want a little bit of freedom, this will actually be decent freedom. It will in total give you, I think, 40% freedom, which is enough to get out of most things. So freedom pants, super good. But I didn't go over the tumbler shoes where you can get them. Going back to the tumbler shoes, where can you get them? Well, you get it on the Season 3 track. They will include it in game somewhere after Season 3. Just to tell you, maybe you watched this in the past, well, in the future. And we're past Season 3. But here is the tumbler shoes, just the season track. Everybody can get it. Now for this one, freedom. I think you can get it from the PvP reward track, level 20 plus. So make sure you get this. Freedom enchanted ward, super good. In total, this will give you 30% freedom. Well, 32% freedom. With your medium, so you get a 10% extra, which will in total give you about 40% freedom. So you can just equip this and you will have plenty of freedom. Where can you get this? PvP track, I already told you, so super good. Let's move on to another piece. Maybe you want to be a little bit more tanky. Then you can go with the Void Dark Plate. This one is super good. Enchanted Ward, physical aversion, health, probably roll health here, shirking heals or shirking fort. You can choose, but you can farm this from mutation 1. Let me just see. Mutation 1, I believe. The dungeon this boss spawns in is barnacles and black powder. So you will have to wait for mutation 1 to be able to farm the Void Dark Plate, unfortunately. But mutation 1, super easy to do. Not too bad. so you can get this. Moving on to some jewelry pieces that I probably will be farming. The Ankh. This one comes from the PvP track, plus 50. So this one is super good if you have a pocket healer. Incoming heals are 50% stronger. This will also proc from sharing heals, I believe. Some people have been saying it. I haven't tested it out on myself. Well, by myself. So just trust that they are correct. I'm hoping they are. But let's take a look at this. So extra incoming healings 50% stronger. But outgo your potions and things are 50% weaker. Health divine, super good. The last one here, probably stam recovery or maybe a protection perk here. I think healthy toast might also be a decent one. But where can you get this? From the PvP track. I hope this video was helpful. If you got a Bruiser build out of this and you think you're going to farm a couple of these pieces, then give this video a like. And don't forget to go watch me on Twitch. I stream about almost every day, every weekday. So I'll see you there, and thank you for watching.